Green chilies from the fields of New Mexico are just so much fun. There's just amazing amounts of dishes that you can make from green chilies. And you know, in traveling around doing cooking schools, literally all over the world, I found that so many people just aren't aware of how delicious green chilies are, or how versatile, or even how to prepare them. Green chilies themselves kind of have a few secrets that I'd like to unlock for you. The first being that when any chili grows out in the field, the chili itself can have up to 35 piquancies on one plant at any given moment. And this makes it a bit mysterious, but the reason that it is that way is that chilies, which are a fruit, a member of the nightshade family, vary a lot in piquancy or spiciness based on the climatic conditions, the moisture, the sun, and so on at the time that the chili fruits. And because of all this, because you can have 35 piquancies at one point in time, I think it's really important for you to know a little bit of information that we here in New Mexico like to share. And that is that the broader the shoulders and the more blunt the tip, and even the lighter color, tends to denote mildness. The narrower the shoulders, the more pointed the tip, and usually the deeper the color, denote heat or spiciness. Now, the color variation is not as important as the difference between the pointed and blunt tip and the broad shoulders and more narrow shoulders. Green chilies, amazingly, are such a popular crop in New Mexico. We grow more than anywhere, and we have a very underpopulated state. Only just a little over 1 million people in the whole state, and yet the fascinating part is we only export something like 15% of the chili we grow, and that's on a good year. On a poor year, when the crop's not so great, we just hardly export at all. Guess what happens to all that green chili? We eat it. So I'd like to show you some of the ways that we prepare chilies, and actually the amount that we eat averages, believe it or not, a bushel for every man, woman, and child. So what makes green chili so great? Well, it's because it's so versatile. First of all, though, in order to enjoy green chilies, you must peel them. And it's not really hard at all. What you do first is you take some chilies and place them on a foil-covered broiler rack, such as I'm doing right now. I'll just add a few more. And the foil does two things. In your home oven, the broiler is at 550 degrees, so it's pretty intense heat, but the foil reflects that heat. Also, it makes it easier to clean. So what you do is you get this all ready for broiling, and voila, let me show you how it works. So once they're all blistered, now these have been blistered, there's another important point I want to share with you, and that is this, that once you've blistered them, if you've ever prepared foods like peas, corn, whatever, any vegetable for the freezer, you probably remember how you blanch it, in other words, you heat it, and then you chill it for the same length of time. Well, the same goes here. You blister them, and then you plunge them in ice water to both stop the cooking and to lock in the color. If you don't stop the cooking by plunging them in ice water, what will happen is that they'll just continue to cook, frankly, and evaporate, and you'll lose the nice bright green color and the crisp texture. So once you have parched them and chilled them, then the next step is you drain them. Now, you can drain them any number of ways. You can use paper toweling, you could use cloth toweling, you could use whatever. And my thrifty mother, she used newspaper. So you can use whatever you want. But if you're going to just prepare them for the freezer, that's what you do. Is you just parch them, chill them, blot them, and then place them in a plastic bag and freeze them, or freeze them however you wish. So once you've kind of blotted them, such as I've done here, then you can see that the peeling just is almost ready to come off. And the easiest way to peel it is to hold the stem, but don't hold the stem, you know, like too tightly. You want to kind of hold down in here because you want to leave the stem on, especially today because we're going to make chili rellenos in a little bit. So you peel it from the stem down just like this, And really, just some other interesting information about green chilies is that they're extremely healthful for you. And you might be thinking, if those people in New Mexico eat all those green chilies, how in the world do they serve them? Well, we're going to share some ideas with you, but some of the ways we eat green chilies is like we might even take this green chili just like this. Did you see how easy that peeled? We'll take it just like this, slit it open, take a knife and just cut the stem right off, take the blunt side of the knife, squirt out the seeds, and you can just place it in an omelet. Cover it with cheese sauce, and it's really good. So there's just any number of ways you could serve the green chili for lunch, over hamburgers, over meats. There's just all kinds of different green chili pies and dishes and stews and so on. And there's even the green chili coconut cream pie for dessert.